OdeeLoccSportsInfo here, back with another vid for you guys. Yeah, y'all, hit that subscribe, like, bell icon so y'all can be notified if this is real, because y'all know OdeeLoc keeps it real. Yeah, y'all, so let's get into this video. So, I just looked at a video of Joseto Lopez, right? He was training, and he was training pretty hard, right? And Ellie Setback, he said, yeah, he have an upcoming big fight, and he said he can't announce it yet. And that just got me to thinking, right? It just clicked in my head. I'm like, okay, I could be wrong. I could be wrong because I'm wrong about a lot of stuff, right? But this just clicked in my head. I said, I don't think Shawn Porter is going to fight Terence Crawford either, right? I don't think Shawn Porter is going to activate his mandatory and fight Terence Crawford either, right? I think this is all a ploy, right, to get boxing fans on his side, right? Say that he want this amount of money. Bob Arum ain't gonna give him an amount of money, right? Bob Arum ain't gonna give him that amount of money. So that's a way to pull up out of the fight with Terence Crawford, right? Because most boxing fans, they don't know about activating the mandatory, and how mandatories work. So that's just a good way to ease up out of the fight, right? You overprice yourself. You say you want this amount of money, even though you know you're not worth that amount of money, right? Because you asking for more money than you got when you was a champion. So that makes no sense to me, right? So that's just a good way to overprice yourself out of a fight. And what can Shawn Porter do? Shawn Porter, he's still #1 in the WBC too. See, this is what people fail to realize, right? And what did he give Errol Spence Jr.? He gave Errol Spence Jr. one of the toughest fights of his life. And if he wouldn't have got knocked down, he probably would have won that fight. Think about that. So I'm thinking, okay, Joseto Lopez is ranked #8 in the WBC, right? And Shawn Porter is ranked #1 in the WBC, right? So he can take on Joseto Lopez, right? Errol Spence Jr. is, come back. He take on Ugas. He get that third belt, right? And then Shawn Porter can activate his mandatory on the WBC side, right? Think about that. And he can activate his WBC mandatory. And Errol Spence Jr. have 3 belts. By that time, right? He'll have 3 belts. And Shawn Porter gave him one of the toughest fights of his life. Think about this, people. So Shawn Porter, he could be, he's doing, man, he's smarter than I gave him credit for. To be honest, you feel what I'm saying? Because think about it, y'all. Because if I'm right, Shawn Porter is playing a game of chess, not checkers. He's playing chess, right? He's pumping up his self with the Crawford fight, right? Overprice himself because he know for a fact he don't want to fight Crawford because they are friends. On top of that, he know he'll lose, right? And his stock will go down, and he won't get a chance to fight Errol Spence Jr. So think about this. He can fight Joseto Lopez, Errol Spence Jr. fight Ugas, get that third belt, then he can activate his mandatory, and Errol Spence Jr. will have to fight him or drop the WBC belt. Either or. Come on, y'all. And he gave Errol Spence Jr. one of the toughest fights of his life. Think about it.